Since Battlefield announced its delay, we've gotten the line of communication renewed, which is a huge improvement from before. The Band-Aid has officially been ripped off, and I think everyone is feeling better about the situation, especially now that we have comms with the devs again. It feels nice to see them reaching out to the community. Players have speculated that the delay was because the game is completely screwed or because of a huge hacker threat that lurks around the corner. In my last video, I speculated that the issue could have had something to do with the alpha test issues that occurred with PS5, but all that seems to have been squashed by just simple communication from the devs. They're talking about tessellation and other things that are being worked on 24/7, and I think that that is fantastic. But others had speculated that DICE was working on an anti-cheat, and so far that doesn't really seem to be the case. Aside from early interviews, there hasn't really been any talk about 2042's anti-cheat. We do know that they'll be using the same anti-cheat as Fortnite and Apex Legends, but that's all we know. Earlier this year, DICE had some major data stolen. I won't go into that too much since I've already covered this in a previous video, so be sure to check that out. So I decided to do some digging just to see what we were going to be getting in terms of this anti-cheat, because the concern is pretty big. Apex has a pretty big cheater problem, and this is where my curiosity kicked in. If Battlefield is using the same anti-cheat as Apex, and Apex has a cheater problem, will the program be enough? So the anti-cheat being used by Battlefield 2042 is Easy Anti-Cheat. No doubt you've seen this icon before. Easy Anti-Cheat was created and launched by Epic Games, and it was used as an extra form of protection, not only for your games, but also online networks, so like the EA Games Store. Several companies have taken on Easy Anti-Cheat as kind of their main source to fight off hackers and cheaters. So in a way, Easy Anti-Cheat is geared towards the industry. It is also geared towards players. In fact, there's players that are using Easy Anti-Cheat and they don't even know it. Security today is going to be a main factor for all games to be successful. Nobody wants to play online in an environment full of hackers and cheaters. We all know this. One of the first games to draw attention for using Easy Anti-Cheat was Fortnite, for obvious reasons. The software isn't just going to protect players from cheaters and hackers in the game, but it's also going to monitor the player to see if they're using cheats and hacks. And if it detects any behavior that looks like cheats or hacks or whatever, the user is going to receive a notification of a ban or be punished, and this is going to vary from case to case, which sounds pretty good, right? But as I mentioned before, Apex Legends is using Easy Anti-Cheat, and they have a big cheating problem. Why? One of the reasons is because Easy Anti-Cheat is very popular. And when you're popular, you're going to have a higher number of people trying to crack the code. They're going to try to bypass what's been put in place. If you look at Warzone, the amount of popularity it's gotten is easy to see why the number of cheaters would skyrocket as well. More money, more problems kind of thing. In a way, you almost don't want your game to be too popular nowadays, and that's kind of weird to think about. If I ran a game company that pushed out a game and that game grew to the heights of Warzone, I wouldn't really be focusing too heavily on anti-cheat because the payout is going to be huge and the anti-cheat that we have in place is going to do its job to a point. Now, some changes and updates will need to be made for sure, but overall, the good is going to be outweighing the bad until it doesn't. Now we see that Warzone has been actually hard at work and scrambling to get a brand new anti-cheat to combat this problem, since the love of the game is suffering because of it. Players become unhappy, they leave the game, or they make the problem worse by cheating themselves. And it's really an issue, and the issue really should not be met with a just fix it kind of attitude, because that's just not how it works. As you've probably guessed, I'm not a coder, or I'm not a programmer, or anything close to that, but it is important that we educate ourselves on this topic, because I think pretty soon we're going to see some extreme measures to get these hacks under control if the devs are indeed that worried about it. So what's kind of the point here? Is Easy Anti-Cheat going to be enough? I mean, I can name a few games in this list that have suffered from serious cheating issues. Well, Fortnite added BattlEye on top of Easy Anti-Cheat, and Apex players are calling for something closer to Valorant's Vanguard system, a program that originally you weren't even able to turn off even if you weren't running the game. Every time you boot your PC, it comes on automatically, and that really didn't sit well with some players. When it comes to privacy, you're going to want as much as you can get, obviously. You want all the privacy if you can have it, but because hackers will always be a problem, I think we're going to start seeing deeper levels of invasion from anti-cheat software. But I don't think that that's going to be because they want to sell your info to China. I think it's because hackers are going to go that extra mile to get cheats in the game and get past the roadblocks. Selling cheats is a very profitable business nowadays, and it's crazy to think that this seemingly never-ending battle between hackers and devs is just going to continue and grow in the years to come. Now, I'm curious to see how invasive the new anti-cheat from Warzone will be. so keep an eye out for that. So because of the EA data breach, Battlefield is potentially in a lot of trouble. Easy anti-cheat can work to an extent. I think if they stay on top of it, it won't be as bad as we think. But could we see something in the future that goes deeper than what's currently being offered? We're just going to have to find out. We talked a little bit about what else Battlefield has done for anti-cheat, and it's something that I believe will be effective in getting some decent results. So click the video on the right and let's look at it. I'll see you over there.